I'm Maddie.
I'm Amber. And we're Witches Talking Tarot.
We are the weirdos in this one.
Like a song, like a sailor snubble. Flip the switch and let the cauldron bubble. Sam.
Wow.
Hi everyone, I'm Maddie.
And I'm Amber.
And we're
Witches Talking Tarot.
And today we're going to be talking about goats and sheep. I tried to think of something. Okay, thank you. I was like, what did I say?
My second laugh was like a goat. I didn't mean to do
You know
that.
what? I was just thinking, I was watching that movie Babe, the sheep in Babe. Oh my God, Ma. Like they all like surround the sheep that got like eaten, or not eaten, but killed by the dog. And they're like, Ma.
Because they're so flock animals.
Yeah, I know. And then the pig does it too. Actually, I love Babe.
Damn,
Babe is a sheep pig. You know, like have you seen that movie?
I have, but not. Oh my God, I liked Babe. The kids, it wasn't one of their favorites,
Mhm.
so it's not one
so
that I
cute.
watched a lot because, like, I feel like I was more watching Black Stallion when
Mhm.
Babe came out. You know, I think I
Mhm.
was a little bit older, and I think I had to want to watch Babe when I did. And it's cute, and I've seen it a couple of times.
It is the little pig.
But yeah.
I just love the sheep in that one because he's a sheep pig. And so, but what I love about it is he doesn't have to herd the sheep through fear. He's just like, can you please go into this other pasture? And they're like, oh, you're so polite. I appreciate it.
And they open the door and he goes in. Don't they win like the
They
the
do. They
contest
fucking
thing?
everybody's laughing.
Oh
at
my
him.
God, I forgot. Oh, I love the guy who plays the farmer because he's
a bad guy in so much of his movies.
Well, I was gonna say in the Green Mile, he's the boss whose wife is sick.
Yes,
I love that
he
guy.
plays. I love
don't know
him
his
too.
name.
He played the
He is a bad
Nazi,
guy in the one thing.
American Horror Story Asylum. He's the
Oh
Nazi
yeah,
guy. He's also a bad guy. He's a bad guy in quite a few things. He's
look
really
at that
good.
Face.
He looks
He
like
plays
a
a good bad guy.
like yeah,
Some
he
faces
does.
are bad guy faces.
He does, and he only has like one line in Babe, whereas his wife just keeps talking, and his one line is like, "That'll do, pig. That'll do." I love it so much.
That one line is why I had to see Babe because, like, why I
That'll
didn't
do,
understand.
pig.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a really
I think I
good
rented
one.
it from Blockbuster. Those were the days.
There's a movie, just while we're on the topic of pop culture with sheep and goats, A24, which I love. I love me some A24 movies. Basically, this girl's baby died, I think, and she ends up
I don't
going,
like that. No,
she has like a I don't know if she has miscarriage or stillbirth or something.
Don't like it.
Ends up going into the farm, like a barn, and finds a baby goat that is basically a person. Like will stand up on legs, like grows like a person, but is the body of a goat. Reason why I haven't seen it, Muppets. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
and I'm over here like dead baby. I do not like dead baby things.
Well,
like, I can't watch. I saw The Hills Have Eyes once.
I don't think it's.
I saw Cold Mountain once.
I
don't hurt babies. I cannot.
I don't think it's shown. I think
I
it's
just
like it in the background.
I
but like,
I hate that.
It turns
it
out
bothers
like there's like a goat creature that impregnates. Like I don't fucking know, but it's terrifying. And part of me wants to see it, and then part of me is just like,
it's kind of changeling-ish.
Yes.
It's kind of Rhiannon-ish.
I'm gonna have to see what it's called. Like,
I don't know. I like that, and like, I mean, I get it. The goat, is the go-to for the Christian badness because goats, they're very pagan in iconography. They're in the Bible.
Oh, it's called lamb. So is that a sheep then?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably. Goats have kids.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a sheep then. I apologize.
And like goats are portrayed in Christian iconography as like bad because they're associated with pagan things. They have that smell when they're in rut, which, Christians associate the bad smell with like devil things. And it makes sense. Like, cause like, have you ever noticed when you're reading the stuff about like the European or Salem witch trials and they talk about like, he'd show up as a black goat with a smell.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now I get it. Like now I get why it was like a black goat with a bad smell, and now a bad smell is associated with demonic things.
Well, let's be fair. Goats have weird eyes.
Well, they do have
They
weird
are
eyes.
creepy looking.
Okay, but did you know that cow eyes and sheep eyes are the exact same as
Right.
goat
That's
eyes?
why I'm
But
like,
goats have lighter colors, so you can tell more the weirdness.
there's just something about a goat, and maybe it's because of pop culture and because of society, but there's just something fucking creepy about a goat.
Well, no,
Or
yes, but-
unsettling
okay,
because their eyes are human but not.
and I think that's why, like, I think that's exactly part of why they've been demonized in pop culture is those eyes and the appearance of them. Because, like, sheep, all bovines have eyes like goats, apparently. Goats are the only ones that have, like, light brown and gold colored
So
eyes.
you could
So
see
you
them.
can see it like that.
Okay.
With sheep and cows, it's always, like, dark brown. So you can't tell, like, when you're looking at them. Like, but goats have,
I had
like,
no idea cows had
Yeah.
things like that. That is crazy.
yeah, I learned it
But
for this
their eyes
research.
are so brown.
Right, you just
it.
can't see the difference. But goats almost have, like, if you took a snake eye and a human eye and you
Put it on top
superimposed
of
each other,
it looks
that's
very
like a goat
Satan-y.
eye. Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Well, and I think that's, I think it's very Satan-y to us because we are in a Western post-Christian era world, right? Where we're growing up and living and existing. And so that's given as that's Satanistic, but it's really, it's Satanistic because it's goat-like, and goats are portrayed as evil or undesirable by the church because they represent independence and they represent being able to ascend on your own and make it on your own.
Well, I went to school with a kid that had a eye disorder that made him have eyes that looked like a goat. He looked possessed. Like, I mean, I don't mean that in a hateful way.
He got laid by the weirdest girl at school. I guarantee.
You think so?
I
Oh my
guarantee.
god. It was
like
weird.
the one that's like the most gothy of the goth kids, like the weirdest of the
That was his story.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a mental or you have a eye disorder? Yeah, I'm on to you, reptilian.
Lucifer's son.
Exactly. No, poor kid.
No, that's rough. I'm not
does
making
suck.
fun of a disorder. It's just, that was funny.
Right. No, it totally was. It was
Yeah,
sad.
that
Poor
was-
kid. But
No, that's rough.
the thing about goats, you would think that pigs would be scarier than goats. But it seems culture focuses mostly on, like, with Satan, they've got the Baphomet statue, and then of course you've got like The Witch is a movie and it's got like a goat. But I just feel like in the Bible,
because goats are so big in paganism, there's Pan.
That's true. Dionysus is very like right up there with the goats fucking and everything.
I mean, Thor had 2 goats that pulled his fucking not sleigh, but his chariot.
Yeah.
And like, okay, the Thor goats are creepy.
Are they the ones that he eats and then
he
are
eats
reborn?
them at night and they're reborn the next day as long he puts all the bones together. And like, there's a story about this one servant boy that Thor invites to eat with him, and he breaks the bone to suck the marrow out. And of course, now when the goat regenerates, that bone is still broken. So he's got a broken leg forever. And Thor punishes the servant boy with, I don't know the punishment, but like, damn, that's fucking weird.
Well, and goats.
But then again, I mean, it's not that weird because like sun gods
Norse
always
mythology
regenerate.
weird.
Well, not just
Like-
Norse, I mean Slavic too,
Yeah.
right? Because the sun god ages throughout the sky and then the next morning is reborn as a youth, so
Well,
like,
and
it makes sense,
goats
but it's still weird.
in Greek mythology, a goat was who fed Zeus. Zeus drank the milk of a goat while he was hiding from Kronos, which, by the way, there is a new Netflix show coming. I don't know if you saw it. It's called Chaos with a K. And guess who plays Zeus? That one guy from Jurassic Park that everybody loves.
Chris Pratt.
No, the
Oh.
old Jurassic Park. He said, "You did it. You son of a bitch, you did it." You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum is Zeus. And there's just the casting is great, and it's almost like exactly what you and I talked about, kind of like a sitcom. type vibe, and I'm very excited.
Somebody made that
I
shit.
know. I'm so excited to watch it. I love that it's called Chaos because what is Olympia but chaos, literally. So it's going to be really fun. Anyway, but yeah, Zeus suckled from a goat. Loki, I think I read, suckled from a goat as well.
Yeah. And they have the Yule goat in both Norse and Slavic Christmas. Like, you know, and Slavic culture, the goat is like way bigger than what I realized. It made sense actually because a lot of their masks are goat-like. It's either a white goat
So
or a
scary.
black goat.
I mean,
but
they're
it's
not
like good, right?
but
they're not,
but they are.
we were raised
Yes,
Christian, so
exactly.
you're scared of goats. And we're led to believe that goats will eat anything, but really they just investigate things with their mouth. So like when you see a goat chewing a tin can, it's not eating a tin can. It's chewing on it to see, is this matter I can eat or not? Because their mouths are so sensitive.
I gotta be
Sheep
real
and
with
goats
you.
are both.
They will gnaw on anything though. They'll gnaw on your house.
They
dude.
will. They'll jump on anything. Like my old car had like
goats.
goat hoof stuff all over it.
Really?
Because yeah, I used to go visit my friend and her mom had
jump on
goats.
top? Oh my god.
Well, they never really did until the earthquake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was like the first earthquake I ever felt, and the goats felt it, and they were like everywhere. They were like going haywire.
I bet they were.
And they were all over my
What
car.
about
And I
those-
was like, oh my god, my husband's gonna be pissed. But
Those
he didn't even notice.
fainting goats, which don't
Yeah.
naturally occur from what I understand. It's like a disorder that we have bred into them because of course we love saying boo and then watching them like stiff up and fall over. It's actually really sad because when they stiff up and
I
fall
don't
over,
think that's why that was bred into him. I don't think it was just because scare them was funny.
yeah, I'm sure.
Okay,
But
I
there's
think
like
there's a reason because I do remember learning.
it's like they go into rigor mortis.
Right,
It's
yeah.
not even just
I think-
I'm scared I'm falling over. It's like they really are stiff as fuck and can't move for a decent amount of time.
I think isn't it partly a defense mechanism?
Yes.
Because
Mhm.
like
if they
most
think
of
we're
their-
dead, they're not
they're not going to come over and eat on us
Mhm.
because they think like we're sick.
right,
know,
right,
to
or
die
we're
like that.
stiff, you know,
Right,
almost like
yeah.
a possum.
Right, exactly.
It is cute. The videos
'Cause-
are silly where they're like, "Oh my god," like just random, like the most random shit. You know what I mean?
I've seen a couple of them, but it did make me sad.
It
So I
is
couldn't watch it
sad.
because people were doing it just to be funny, and I thought that was cruel.
It's just sad because they're stuck like that. They
Yeah.
cannot move. Like,
And-
but it is cute sometimes. Like if it's over.
I mean,
silly.
yeah, I mean, you can't help but kind of giggle at it, but at the same time, like, I don't want to.
do it intentionally. Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't do it intentionally, but like
Yeah.
if like
Somebody
a tree
sneezes,
branch,
yeah, and they're like, "Oh my god, fuck!"
yeah,
And you're like, "Oh, that's kind of funny," you know?
Right.
Like, that's, you know,
But going up and yelling "boo," that's kind of
right? Like when you know what's gonna happen.
yeah.
I
The
don't know,
fainting
but anyway,
goats.
yeah. I mean, they are cute. Like goats in general are fucking cute.
Baby goats are the best, and they got that little bit.
I know. Well, and like
baby goat.
I love doing these animal episodes because I gain a new appreciation for animals that I didn't really pay enough attention to before. And the goat and sheep are just another to add to this collection of animals that I have new appreciation for. You know, because like they're associated with a lot of deities, including goats are associated with Belus, the god of the underworld. And, you know, some consider him to be the all-father of, you know, the Slavic pantheon. And they're also sacred to Odin, apparently. As
Yeah,
well.
yeah, I saw
So,
that.
yeah, and like I think that's why the Yule goat
There is a
exists.
goat that will eat off of the world tree. What is it? Your
Egadrill.
Yggdrasil. Yes, I get Gil.
Egadrill.
Something
Yggdrasil?
blue. Yeah, you know.
It looks like egg, but with a Y, and then
Right.
Drasil.
Drasil. So
Yggdrasil.
they will eat the
Yggdrasil.
leaves of the world tree, and then from its udder comes meat, and that's what they are served in Valhalla. So, like, goats are just sacred in all cultures, really. And in the Bible, they were often used as animal sacrifices
Yes.
in the Old Testament for the Christian God.
Right, because like they weren't an unclean food, right?
Mhm.
Like
you can eat them.
you can't eat pigs, but you can eat goats.
Mhm.
However, goats aren't held as sacred as lambs and
Right.
sheep are in the
Mhm.
Bible. So like as far as the Christian world or the Abrahamic world goes, goats aren't revered like they are everywhere else. And I firmly believe it's because the everywhere else is the pagan world.
Mhm.
And so the Christian world like rejects the goat because the goat, it can live on mountains. It can live on very scarce things.
They don't need a fucking
It doesn't
gravity.
need
Like-
somebody to lead it. It leads itself.
Well, goats themselves are very hard-headed.
Yes.
I would not. Would I want to go? No, probably not. Because they really do be gnawing on everything. And also, they will headbutt you and it hurts. But they're just. I am going to sound so shitty when I say this. I don't want to go because it's so strong-willed. And I don't want to go. Like, you know
See,
what
I'm
I
over
mean?
here like, I would love a little goat. Like, if I could have it in an area where it can't chew on my
Mhm.
house.
Yeah. Well, they're
Like-
so strong. You can't tell a goat what to do. Like,
Right.
they're
And
gonna
they'll
do
get out
whatever
of your
they-
enclosure because,
Yeah.
again, they
They
live
can climb on
in
anything.
mountains, right?
Yes.
Like wild goats are our domesticated goats are descendants of the
Mhm.
ibex, which
Mhm.
is like this big ass goat that lives in the fucking mountains. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And so goats, they can live in that terrain. They can exist easily in it.
Mhm.
You see, like when you go out west, you can see them in the mountains, and like they're just chilling on like a rock ledge this wide.
big, yeah.
And they're like, whatever, come on, guys. You know, like they can manage
Well,
on
and
their
they
own.
can
They
be
don't
mean,
need a
too.
leader.
They
But-
can be mean. Like a male goat in
Oh,
rut.
yeah.
Oh, they'll fuck you up.
Well-
Just like a deer, though.
Oh yeah,
A deer will
absolutely.
fuck you up if they're like in rut.
Oh yeah. Well, and male goats, like they have a hierarchy as well.
Mhm.
Like within their herd, they have a hierarchy amongst the males. You know, so again, it's like it's very much a culture that the Christian church doesn't want to promote, which is why they do like sheep better, because the sheep's mentality, the sheep's behavior is much more
Docile.
yes.
Meek.
They're the flock of parishioners that the church wants because they follow the lead of the leader.
I'd probably rather have a sheep than a goat. And for that reason. Like, I'm just gonna be real with you. Like, it's easier.
I read though, I found this interesting. So sheep are flock animals. They
Uh-huh.
always follow the lead of everybody else, right?
Mhm.
That's why we have all these terminologies with sheep and like
Mhm.
following the flock or being a sheeple, things like
Mhm.
that, right? But sheep that are in a group of 4 or more will
Mhm.
behave that way. If they are singular sheep or
Mhm.
just like less than 4,
Mhm.
they may behave completely differently than what you expect
Mm.
from a sheep,
Oh, that's
which
really
makes me
interesting.
wonder, do they act more goat-like because they are closely related?
Oh, I'm sure
they're
they're so
incredibly
related.
closely related.
And you can eat both of these animals. But
Yes.
like personally, I just don't think I don't think I'd want to eat a goat because they're too creepy for me.
Sheep taste delicious. I'm just gonna tell you. I can't
Is
eat
sheep
meat
like
anymore.
sheep like
but
a lamb? Like if you order like lamb chops, that's
Right.
sheep.
now, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's a baby.
Yeah,
like,
they just
in,
call
in
it that.
Europe. If
Mhm.
it's called a lamb, it's usually a young sheep,
Mhm.
and then sheep is what they call old lamb or mutton. Over here, anything that sheep is referred to as lamb.
I've had
like-
lamb Greek, like
Mhm.
lamb gyro or
Hero?
hero, whatever.
Yeah.
It's not horrible. It is not horrible.
Mm.
But I just can't. To me, like, and
That's
maybe
traditional hero meat, just so you guys know, is lamb.
lamb, right? Maybe it's just a me thing, but thinking about eating a goat does not feel right to me. They're so smart, but so are all the animals.
Okay, so
you know what I
sheep,
mean?
yeah, sheep are about as smart as cows
They are,
but
yeah.
goats are much smarter.
Well,
That's why they
they
get out all
are.
the enclosures. And again, I think that's why they're demonized by the church, because
Right.
they are so smart. That's not what you want, and people you want to follow and do what you
Mhm.
say. But the sheep, they follow the leader, they follow
I
the
say
flock
that
as long as they're in a mass together.
like a cow.
I mean, I'm just
Like-
saying, not to make this sound like
No,
political
it's
or
not.
anything
It's
like that.
not.
I'm just saying, like,
Because, like, to me,
It's-
I feel like eating a goat, I would feel wrong because it is so smart. Same with eating a pig, even though I do eat bacon sometimes. It's just they're so smart. Whereas, like, a lamb and a cow, they're smart too. I'm not
Right.
saying they're not, but there's just that.
they're
line.
not as intelligent. Like,
Yes,
you know, they're not as intelligent.
I just
just
feel like
not-
if I just don't think I feel right.
What did I read? I read goats are the only animals other than humans that copulate just anytime. whenever
Really?
feel
They
like,
just want to.
right? Yeah, they just want to fuck.
They just like
They
it.
just want to fuck.
I know
which
dolphins.
again, I think is why
Dolphins
they're
do that.
demonized, and that's why they're associated with fertility, like you were saying.
Only certain animals do that. I know. I'm pretty sure monkeys do, or excuse me, primates, dolphins, goats, and then is that it? There's gotta be
Pigs, dolphins. Well, because pigs and dolphins can orgasm like people can. Hallelujah. That's right. No, just kidding. But I never knew that about goats, and I think it has to do with like just kind of being horny all the time, and that's
a stereotype. It
Right?
horny goat.
stereotypes come from places though. I don't
They
know.
do. They
But
do.
also like our magical associations come from places. Goats are associated with fertility. Goats are associated with strong-headedness. Goats are associated with all these things based on their behavior. And sheep are associated with like innocence or being in
a child.
Yeah,
you
being
know?
a child. Or there was one that was like something to like the effect of kind of needing to go with the flock as opposed to doing what they want, which I was it makes sense, but you know,
The Christian mentality when it comes to sheep, like I think there's a quote, my brother-in-law talks about it all the time, or there's a scene, I say scene, whatever it's called in the Bible, where Jesus
a
leaves
passage.
99 of the flock to go save the one little lamb. And there's really pretty imagery of it. I can't lie, the imagery is pretty. And it's like you're that lamb. You know what I mean? And that's how they say,
Got you.
know what I mean?
That makes sense. And I get it because, I mean, sheep, they like goats, they eat as a herd, but they don't all stay together. They kind of separate, they go off.
Right.
They're
Whereas
really good
sheep
for
are
the
together,
environment.
yeah.
Sheep stay together and they move as a flock. They every one of them every so often looks up to see where everybody is, and that's how they move together and eat together as a flock. As
See, there's no goat
being
dogs.
separate.
You know what I
Right,
mean? But there are
yes.
sheep dogs.
Right, because
And-
the sheep will be guided. They are easily guided.
Which is
And
a
again-
problem, though, or can be a problem, because I know for a fact in Scotland, where they raise a lot of sheep, one sheep jumps off the fucking cliff and they all follow. They all follow them.
Yes, because in sheep, there's not really a hierarchy. One sheep starts moving and that sheep becomes the leader. Everybody just naturally follows that.
And if they go off a cliff, or like specifically, I think it's cliffs that's a problem, because that's where they like highlands. You know what I mean? But they'll all jump off a cliff and kill themselves.
And like, to me, I can't help it but go, it makes perfect sense, the behavior of sheep, why they are so highly regarded within the Bible, because that's exactly what you would want from your flock of parishioners, someone who will follow you blindly, because again, it's not a particular sheep who's the leader. And I found that very interesting, because in most herd animals, somebody's kind of in charge. Now within the flock, because usually they have different family lines within one flock, they'll notice that a specific ewe is followed by her direct descendants. So her children and their children will follow the matriarch. It didn't say that about rams at all. So like it does to me very much so. It mirrors so much of human behavior. And I think it's that human behavior was modeled after the way sheep are, because that's what you want in a population. Because the sheep, yeah, they follow the matriarch, but the matriarch follows the leader.
And the goats are kind of the rebellious ones.
Yes.
The goats are the ones that don't follow the leader.
Yes, exactly. They don't need a leader. They lead themselves. Yeah. Now, granted, when goats are together in a herd, there'll be a couple of main guys that kind of fight it out to see who's the leader. But again, like when they're stopping to graze, they don't stick together. They go off and do their own thing.
I'm not worried about a sheep herding me. Oh, I'm sure they will if you fuck with them. But a goat with those horns, they're going to pop a pelvis out of place.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're going to hit you pretty fucking hard. I've seen videos where they get pissed and they'll just headbutt a kid and knock them right over.
Yeah, like Ashley's mom's goats headbutted me a couple of times playfully.
Right. It still hurts though.
Well, I mean, it definitely knocks you off guard.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like depending on how hard they do it, it can hurt very much. So, you know, like if they're doing it very softly, it's like a dog nudging you, you know.
But
like
I don't think lambs do that.
ones.
Lambs don't do that, do they?
You know, at a petting zoo, I've had a lamb, just like a dog. Sorry, but like kind of, you know,
like tap
kind
you.
of, hey, give me
But
some
it's
food.
not like a
Give me pets. But yeah, it's not as solid a contact.
yeah.
But like with goats, you know, we're used to that. Like that's how they duke it out. That's how they decide, you know, with the guys that have the bigger horns, who decides which one is.
There's
you
a
know,
reason
in
they
charge.
have the horns. Just like deer, there's a reason they have antlers.
Yes, and that's, you know, and there's a reason why we think of them as hard-headed or have a connotation of them as being hard-headed.
Not only are they really hard-headed, but they really are hard-headed.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's why we see rams as powerful, right? And we name like sports teams after them.
And you've always got the imagery of the ram who's like ducked down.
Oh my God, ram is the male sheep and buck is the goat. I used the wrong words. I'm sorry, guys. But we do have rams because rams do that with each other to decide who within the social groups is like kind of in charge. So the male sheep, we have those connotations for both as far as being masculine and like duking it out, but the goats are the ones we're talking about being hard-headed, and I used the wrong word of ram.
You always have that imagery of like them leaning down and they've got their like
locking horns and fighting.
Horns.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is actually
where the hard-headed and the
they have to be hard-headed if they're
moving.
going to be hitting heads.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. And also like the mental hard-headed of they're going to make their fucking way up that mountain no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, and with the sheep, you know, the males are still very masculine. They're very powerful. They probably would protect the females if they needed to, although that's not something we see from them in domesticated situations very often, but there's usually a dog or something protecting them in domesticated situations.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, so we really have that innocent thing going for them as far as a spiritual.
Do you need a dog to guard sheep? I don't think not sheep, goats.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure they can fuck something up.
Yeah, like I don't know, like maybe coyotes get goats more regularly than, you know,
but I'm not sure. And I know people, if they don't have a dog, they have a donkey. And those are fucking assholes. Like they will fuck up a coyote.
Yeah, they will.
Actually, I don't think we've done an episode on donkeys, have we?
Mm-mm.
That would be a fun episode. They are very sacred in many cultures. They're sacred in Christian cultures. They're sacred in a lot of Middle Eastern cultures, as well as Mexican.
Yeah, you know? And I mean the goat the same. I mean, because they're so prevalent in these cultures.
Most
and
of
like
these animals that we've done, they're sacred in more than just
right. Exactly. They're like
elephants,
kind of all.
Well, elephants was mostly Asian, but that's because that's where they are.
Well, Asian, African, and North America, because mammoths were over here, you know, and we had mammoths, and so like that was a part of at least the native culture, you know, like at least for a while. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like, I find the goat and sheep thing very interesting because they're very closely related. So you see a whole lot of overlaps in them, but their differences are so stark. Yes. I don't know. They're also both of them some of the oldest domesticated animals.
I'm
so
not surprised.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we
they used them in ancient
Egypt.
Ancient Egypt. You see them
Iran,
Middle Eastern.
Like they were domesticated in the Eastern Europe, like in the Caucasus Mountains, and then in the mountains where they go down into like Iran and Azerbaijan and stuff. That's where the ibex is. And so that's where we first got ibexes to domesticate into goats.
Is that where the stereotypes, like, you know, Middle Eastern, there's like goats everywhere?
Probably because there are. Yeah, because that's where they, absolutely. And I mean, apparently sheep, the same thing though. Like, they're from an animal called a muffalo. Wait, muffalo, is that the word? I can't remember the word now of what they're. Oh, mouflon. I was close. Muffalo, mouflon. I mean, it's not the same thing, but they're domesticated from that animal, which is in that same general region of the world. And they're some of the oldest domesticated animals that we have, and we use them for everything.
Oh yeah.
We have them. We have different breeds for meat, dairy, fiber, and something else. Something else. What the fuck else do we use? Oh, I guess there's skins and stuff. So like you would think that the ones
they use their stomach. They use absolutely fucking everything.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like
I mean, haggis is a sheep's stomach filled with the other intestines. I do not recommend. Highly unrecommend. Like highly do not fucking eat haggis.
you know what I
Shit's
was
nasty.
speaking of like West Scotland, right?
Mhm.
Speaking of Scottish food, like no offense, y'all, but like what the fuck is that fish? What is it called? It's preserved in lye.
Oh, the lutefisk. That's not Scottish.
What is it?
That's Scandinavian.
I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but it's definitely somewhere cold. Where like I know it's somewhere
like Norway, maybe Norway.
Is it Welsh?
No. I mean, like lutefisk is Scandinavian. I don't know if it comes from Switzerland or Norway, or Sweden, but it's somewhere Scandinavian. Because Welsh and Scottish, they're both Celtic areas.
No offense, you guys, but like
I have always wanted to eat lutefisk. Always wanted to eat lutefisk. I blame Bobby Hill.
Okay, it's originally from the Swedes and Norwegians.
Oh, okay.
So, but they both claim to have invented it, but it's in that area.
Yeah, but I have ancestry there, so
it's literally preserved.
Maybe it's in the
lye.
blood.
Like maybe, but they clean it. So it's preserved in lye, and then they clean it really good and to make it edible. But it becomes like a gelatinous texture after being gelatinous.
I want to try it. I do. I can't lie. I do. But I also I had my first anchovy pizza. Oh my god! Did I tell
was it
you?
good? I've always wanted to try.
I loved it. It was so good. It's very salty, but I liked it. I've been nervous because I don't want to get a whole pizza with fucking
what
anchovies.
If you don't like
right.
It? Yeah.
But at this place, it was like buy the sliced pizza, you can get up to 3 toppings. So I got anchovies, artichoke, and red pepper, because I thought that would go together. Yeah. And it tasted really good.
I bet it does.
It was
so
good.
Have you, before we get off here, you've eaten lamb? How have you eaten lamb? Just lamb chops?
I've had it in different ways. I've had one year for Thanksgiving, because we do Thanksgiving differently.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lamb roast and prawns.
Is it like sticking up?
Good.
Is the lamb that sticks up?
So we've never done a rack of lamb like that.
But that's usually served with like minty. Is it expensive? It's like
lamb is usually served with mint jelly. I've never had it with mint jelly because there's something. I love mint everything. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. Something about the idea of putting mint jelly on meat bothers me. But also my mom eats applesauce on her pork chop, and I know a lot of people do that.
Good. I do,
but I think it's weird.
Apple and chicken. You made apple chicken.
I know, but putting I don't like applesauce. So the pudding, I don't know what it, but my mom would put applesauce on pork chops, and I was like, no, thank you. Fuck that shit.
I think it depends. Like pork is a sweet meat.
Yeah, pork
so it's
goes
really good
well with
pineapple.
Apple. Yeah,
apple.
It goes well with it, but I don't like applesauce. So that's probably what my problem was. But I have this mental thing of putting stuff on meat.
So is lamb very expensive then when it comes to meat?
Oh yes. I don't know how much that fucking roast costs.
So expensive.
I think at least over here it's because it's a specialty meat. Not a lot of people eat it. Mm-hmm. When you do eat it, you eat it on Easter.
So a rack of lamb
Christmas.
is that like ribs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why it's got those bones.
Yeah,
right?
sticking up.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm pretty sure. I think lamb chops. Well, depending, because you can get some just like instead of having the whole rack, you can just get 3 on the bone pieces, little pieces of meat,
And how is the texture similar to cow?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a grazing animal.
Yeah,
So I
exactly.
imagine it
Yeah.
wouldn't be very gamey. It would
Yeah,
be
no,
more
it's pretty
cowish.
good. Yeah, yeah.
And you've never had goat.
I've had goat's cheese, but I think
Oh, I
that's about
love
as
goat
far as
cheese.
I don't think I've ever had goat meat. Granted, I don't think I've had goat meat. When we were in Scotland,
Mhm.
they had this Mongolian barbecue where
Mhm.
you could like make it was like, you know what, how hoo-ha, you could
Yeah.
like pick your own meats and stuff. So they had it, but with like all these different exotic meats. Like there was antelope on there was koala and kangaroo.
Good God.
I mean, like some of it I was disgusted by because I'm like, I don't want to eat a koala. Like,
Well,
that's weird.
yeah, and a kangaroo is just like, I don't think that texture would be good at all. I mean,
Yeah.
they're very muscly, very,
Right. Yeah.
you
No.
know,
Yeah. Like I
not
can't
to like
be
be
weird.
weird
Right.
about
Yeah.
it, but
Because
like,
I know I ate antelope that day, but and
I
I
imagine
can't
that
remember.
would be very gamey like buffalo.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was. But I can't remember all the meats. So it's like, was there goat? I don't know. Would I have eaten it? I don't know. I don't think I've ever eaten goat, but again, I've had both like multiple different cuts of lamb back when I could eat meat, and I had haggis, which is gross, but it's in a lamb's stomach. It's in a sheep's stomach.
It's not good. Like it like genuinely, it's not good. It's not because of what it is. It just does not taste.
Yeah, because I eat organ meat, or back when
Right.
I ate meat, I
Right.
ate organ meat.
meat's not the.
Yeah. So
I mean,
it's not the
my
organ meat
favorite.
part that was wrong. It was the spices. Like
Mhm.
because it's all organ meat, it's like heavily spiced.
Right, because it'll be fucking gross if it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
Except I don't know. I just did not. My dad didn't like
Well,
it
my
either.
God,
It wasn't
they
just
fry
meat.
the organ meat like we do in the South. I love me some fucking
Fried chicken livers. I don't deep fry them.
livers.
I
Yes,
fry 'em,
fried
but,
chicken livers. Yum.
I
think they
miss
have
that
them
is
at the
one of the things I
Charlie's Chicken
miss.
over there, and
Yeah.
my grandpa gets them every time. He's like, I want some of the gizzards,
Yeah.
which I'm pretty sure is the heart, right?
Gizzards is this thing in their throat that's
Right.
almost got like teeth in it. Helps break their food up. That's why
It's
you gotta
fucking
fry
nasty.
it. No,
It
that's why
get-
you gotta fry it.
Yeah.
Like that, because like you can't chew that shit.
So
if
what's
it's not fried.
chitlins?
Chitlins is organ meat from pork, from pigs, I think.
Oh, that's fucking.
Yeah, I've had chitlins
Like-
and scrapple.
Mm-hmm. Were they okay?
It's chitlins and scrapple.
It doesn't sound okay, but some people swear by them. Some people think they're just delicious.
I like some organ meat. I don't like all organ meat.
So
That's
haggis,
all I can say about
haggis
that.
is a no.
Haggis is a no, but like, you know, one thing that I would like everybody to take a moment to appreciate about sheeps and goats, like
Mhm.
both of them give us some of our most expensive sweaters. Angora, cashmere. This Angora is a goat. Cashmere is a sheep. Like these animals were specially bred for fibers, and like these pieces of clothing are super
Well,
expensive.
the thing about
and
sheep is you don't have to kill it to take the
Right.
fur.
You don't,
know,
right.
or the wool. Or
Right.
whatever.
The only thing you have to kill it for are the skins and
The skins and the meat.
Yeah.
Because I mean, people have been making blankets out of wool.
Mhm.
And you don't have to kill the sheep, so
Yeah.
you keep it for the next year when you
Right.
need more blankets.
Because I
you
mean,
know?
like, you know, we talk about sheep being holy in the Bible, but sheep are holy to all of the goddesses that have to do with spinning. Because, you know, because I was reading on the spiritual aspects of sheep, and it's like,
Athena.
you know,
Athena was
well-
gifted a goat, a sheep, I believe, by
well,
Zeus.
and probably one of the golden fleece.
Golden
sheep.
Fleece,
Yeah.
exactly, the Golden Fleece,
Right.
which Jason, I don't know who that
Jason and the Argonauts.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of their tests to get his wife back. I
Yeah,
think.
he had to get the Golden Fleece or
For
something
one
like
of
that.
the
But I'm pretty
gods
sure
to help
Athena
him,
made the Golden Fleece with
the sheep. Yeah, and like you had to the sheep with the golden fleece were fucking aggressive as shit. So
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
you had to
exactly.
get it off of the plants where it was stuck. Like one of the
Mhm.
goddesses gave him a hint so that he could get it and succeed in his task. And like
very
Mokash,
golden eggy, like you know what I mean with the duck.
Yeah, I love my fairy tales. Yeah, the goose with the golden eggs. But and I mean sheep are sacred because like the goddesses that have to do with weaving and spinning, like Mokash is the spinner of the life thread,
Mhm.
and she spins it from wool
Mhm.
from the sheep. that Velas has in his flock because it's all connected. And both of these animals are very holy and connected to everything in human life. And they have been for 10,000 years. That's a long
That
time.
is a very long time, and that's very interesting.
Yeah. So the next time you're like passing flock of sheep on the road, or you see a goat and you're like, oh, that's a dumb goat. Maybe, or maybe it's much more important than you think in human life.
I think that's a good way to end this episode.
Yeah.
So, if you're interested, you can follow us on Threads, Facebook, and Instagram at Witches Talking Tarot. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yes, please. And if you would like to support us like Death by DVD,
Pam
Victoria,
and Melissa.
you can find us on patreon.com/Witches Talking Tarot. And we would love to have your support so that we can do more things with the show as we grow and grow and grow. If you'd like to find us on the X, you can find us at Classiest Witches because we are the classiest witches you know.
Thanks for sitting with us for a spell.
Bye.
Just a bunch of hocus pocus.
I'm Maddie,
I'm Amber.
and we're Witches Talking Tarot.
We are the weirdos in the story.
I get song like a Santa's snubble. Flip the switch and let the cauldron bubble.
Sam. Wow.